Josh, welcome to Manufacturing Happy Hour.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So I looked at your background before this conversation, and you own Etched, a nameplate company, the nameplate company, I should say.
Yep.
But you worked for a nameplate company long before this.
I did.
So give us a bit of a story. What
Sure.
inspired you to own your own nameplate company after starting, I think, for a decade with the same organization, if I remember right?
Right. Well, I can tell you right now that I didn't grow up, one day hoping to become a business owner of a nameplate manufacturing company. But,
yeah, that's fair.
But I did. I worked for a company that was manufacturing similar products for a long time, and, to be completely honest with you, after that, into that 10-year run there, it was a good run. They fired me. They let me go. So, gut punch, but, you reset at that time, right, in your life. And, but no, I went off and did some work for, on my own and for another company manufacturing other products, connectors, actually high reliable connectors.
Mm-hmm.
And I was traveling all the time. I had a couple young kids at home, wife at home, gone a lot. And, making that sacrifice, right, that we all do as we're trying to build a career. And I had a colleague of mine that I would call once in a while and say, hey, where are you at? Where are you at this week, Adam? And Adam actually happens to be my business partner currently. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right.
But he was doing the same thing. He was traveling and had young kids at home. And so we sometimes would just reconnect. And, one day I called Adam and I said, hey, Adam, where are you at this week? He said, well, right now I'm at Houston Hobby Airport. And I'm at Houston Hobby Airport. Well, let's grab a beer and
That's awesome.
Chat a little bit, right? So we talked, and it kind of boiled down to the fact that at that stage in my life, I was ready to do something on my own. I felt like I had enough experience to do that. I was already making sacrifices away from my family, and I thought, hey, if I'm going to do this, now's the time, for one, and two, it feels like if I'm going to sacrifice, let's make a sacrifice for myself and my family, and let's go try this thing,
Mm-hmm.
And so really the point there and reason starting a nameplate manufacturing company was because we knew we weren't going to reinvent the widget,
Mm-hmm.
but we definitely felt like there were some things out there in the market that we could kind of do better than other folks and take care of customers in ways that maybe other people weren't. And we wanted to see if we could make that work and make it happen. And we went off and did that. So
I've had 3 new questions pop up just in the course of that first answer.
Yeah.
So how did you pick yourself up after you got let go of working at a company for 10 years?
Yeah.
And what lessons have you taken with you now to help you manage your career?
Well, I mean, obviously initially, so I tend to be a person that really just dives all in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for me at the time, that point in my career, I was all in, and to get that, that pink slip, if you will, like that was definitely a gut punch, and an ego check kind of, right. But, I don't know. I mean, my parents, and I have a twin brother, so we were super close, obviously growing up, and we pushed each other and challenged each other and stuff. And so it was one of these things that for me, I knew it wasn't in me to just stay down, right? To stay down. And I had responsibilities at home to take care of my kids and my family and everything as well. But then at the same time, I think it was, people say this, and sometimes it sounds cliche, but maybe it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because we've obviously been on this journey with Etched now for since 2017, and this has been so much fun, and kind of every challenge that you wanted to have as a professional and a business person, we faced it through COVID from a startup through COVID to kind of where we're at now, some of the challenges and excitement that we have going on now. I knew the only path forward was a positive path forward for me. Yep.
I like that vibe.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is, aside from Adam being in the right place at the right time at Houston Hobby Airport, what makes him the right co-founder for your business? What are the different things you each bring to the table?
So Adam would say he's a realist. Okay, and I'm a dreamer.
All right.
So you kind of start to figure out what I mean there. When what I feel like I'm good at is really getting excited about the future and having a future vision and where we want to go. And he's very good at executing today and executing on that vision. And he's just a great guy too. I mean, he's just a great person. and great leader. And he's always had an operations background. Okay. So he was, plant manager, director of operations, very much in the like making it happen type of roles for in his career. I had a sales background for the most part. And so, those two things kind of all made for a great partnership, really, and we do work well together. Sometimes you don't know how well you're going to work together until you start a business together like that and go through some of the trials and tribulations, but it's been a great ride. So, yeah. So, and then my brother, I have a twin brother, like I mentioned, Justin, he's a business partner of ours as well.
Oh, cool.
And Mark Stang as well. So, we knew that we couldn't do it on our own, all by ourselves. When we started in 2017, we had 0 customers, 0 sales, no equipment, and
so you started this company. You didn't buy it. This was you starting it from the ground up. Okay.
No, this was from 0. Yeah, this was from 0. So wild.
Yeah. No. I mean, I like asking that question because oftentimes I do feel like the answer is, hey, there's an individual that's the dreamer, the vision person, another individual that's the operations person, the executor. I love hearing about that balance, and it certainly seems that you both have that.
Yeah, it's been great.
So the other question, the final question that came up during that first initial response was, what is it that Etched does better than the rest of the market? Actually, the way I want to ask this question is, for manufacturing folks out there that are like, oh, well, there are already a bunch of people doing this.
Yeah.
What are the things that you looked for to say, like, sure, there are already players in this space, but we see an opportunity where there's space for us too?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of companies in our industry that they do a really, really good job of making metal tags. Okay, great quality. They're going to execute lead times and things like that. They do a great job with that. But what I've kind of started to realize, and what we knew out there, was that the tags are in this kind of category of product for our customers that they're not that expensive. Okay, they're not throw away items by any stretch, but they're not as important as maybe like some raw material that's your bulk of your spend. So they don't get paid attention to that closely by our customers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it can shut down a line. Okay. So
how can it shut down a line? Tell us about that real quick.
Our customers typically have to have a tag on their product before it ships out. Okay. And this tag would include information like, obviously the manufacturer's name and contact information, but like a serial number, test data, potentially a warning that maybe their specific industry forces them to have on the equipment. It has to have kind of the full bill of materials before it goes out the door, including this. Okay. This isn't strictly just a kind of a hang-on throwaway tag, or even just a logo, right? This is
information that's critical to uptime.
It's got to be on there. Yep, it's got to be on there, and you can't just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that and buy them either, right? So, so when they're out, we know it can be a huge problem for them, and we really wanted to tackle that problem that people had with managing these types of products, specifically nameplates within their manufacturing facility, managing the inventory levels, reorder points, and just making it easier for them to manage their tags than they were currently, experiencing. So, we knew that a lot of our competition sometimes would react to those situations, meaning an expedite or an expedite fee and those sorts of things. And what we really wanted to do is go in there and try to solve that problem for the customer. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. We live and breathe metal tags. You don't. You're doing other things, and we want to be able to go in there and kind of find a way to see if there's a way that we can help you so you don't have that same experience again. And if you do, we obviously have things in place to help them with that as well. So, yep.
And you talked about your sales background. I've heard you're a customer-focused guy in general from folks I've talked to before this conversation. I'm curious to get your take. What does customer centricity really mean in today's manufacturing environment where everyone talks about how customer centric they are? It's almost to the point that it's not a differentiator anymore because you hear people talk about it all the time. So what does it truly mean to be customer centric?
So I think that one thing that I try to focus on is really not what people say, but it's what people do. And I think that, when we say something that's step one, right, is saying it. But what are you actually doing on a day-to-day basis to make that become reality? And so, for us, like I know from my experience, I was just down in Oklahoma with some customers last week, and, we had this very conversation, and it was that, I think sometimes the fundamentals of business and service are forgotten about, and I think that for us, number one, like I told you before, we started with 0 customers and 0 sales, and we knew that every customer we did get was precious, right? It was very precious. It was a precious thing. And so we kind of had, at the time, we were forced to kind of manage our business based on what our customers needed, right? As we grew up out of that. And so growing up out of that gives you a nice perspective. But it's also that we know that the fundamentals are critically important, and that means things like returning a phone call quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay, getting back to someone if they're on a chat or if they're on an email, quickly returning a phone call or an email, getting quotes, getting information back to customers quickly is easy to do, but it's easy to not do as well. And I think that we have a world where I think a lot of people's experience dealing with manufacturers, just companies in general, mm-hmm. is that, boy, they said they were going to call me back and they just never did. I mean, how easy is that, right? Yeah. And so we know that that's one of the things, and we're also a small company still, so we know that our customers, are not just, I don't know what pays the bills, okay, but they are why we have a business. And I think that the customers that we have that we can kind of treat that way, I think they would maybe hopefully agree with me. But I also think another way to look at customer centric here too, Chris, is that our customers are also people that work at Etched, mm-hmm. And I think that when I think of customer centric or customer focused company, I want to build an experience for our customers, mm-hmm. that they enjoy working with us, that we're the easiest and the most enjoyable company to work with. And I know what I experience when I go into a company that has a culture like that. I know what that feels like, mm-hmm. and we want to build that for our company, for our customers. Yeah. And I think the way to do that for me is that we want to have our the people that work for me, whether it's Justin as our plant manager or Liz our office manager, that for one, they know where the company's going. Mm-hmm. They can see themselves working here for a long time. They know we're on a team, we're working in the same direction, and they kind of have a passion for the people they work with. And it's a great place to be. And I think that comes through the phone and stuff as well.
What I think I heard you say was that, or part of what I heard you say was that a great customer experience starts with a great employee experience.
100%.
So a couple more questions as we go through this. I'm interested to shift gears to understand a bit about the manufacturing community, the manufacturing scene, where you're based in Kansas City, but beyond that as well to the state of Missouri and the greater Midwest. Tell us a little bit about that, what it's like being a part of that community.
So, Kansas City specifically is a very diverse economy and diverse manufacturing base. And, there's obviously, a wide range of industries that are supported there. But, I think that I think that Kansas City and specifically Kansas City does a good job trying to connect with students, right? Even mm-hmm. in high school, kind of building out those programs where we're connecting with students and thinking about career paths. That's exciting for me. And then in general, in Missouri and what Michael's done here with Missouri Association of Manufacturers, him and his team have done a phenomenal job of connecting manufacturers in Missouri. I think in the Midwest, we are a little bit more spread out, right? We have kind of population centers or manufacturing spread out a bit, and organizations like what Michael's put together here is critical. And I have to tell you, the first experience that I had with this group here was at this show a year ago, and I came away from here just inspired and excited. And I think that when you get to be a part of a community that they're all fighting the same fight, and with people that are willing to help each other out, it's pretty powerful and pretty amazing thing. And I really feel that here. And Michael and his team do a great job of connecting the dots for all of us together, where we might not see each other more than once or twice a year, mm-hmm. but we still feel connected in the same community. And I reach out to people within the organization if I have questions or need some help. And that's just an invaluable resource, obviously, that that we have here with Missouri Association of Manufacturers.
It's funny, that's come up unprompted in both of our conversations so far, especially around how they connect the manufacturing community in this space. So I've got one last question for you.
Okay.
And that's around, you mentioned you're the dreamer, you're the vision guy at Etched. So what is the dream? What is the vision for Etched? Where are you now? Where do you see it going?
Yeah. So we've got a long ways to go, and we're in this thing for the long haul. But for me, and I know our team, we get energy from solving problems, and I mean that. Like I've learned that we love that, and so one of the things that we're really, really focused on is continuing to bring solutions to our customers, and we need to keep an open mind about that. That could be specifically with metal nameplates. It could be with something else possibly as well. One of the things that we've done after when COVID hit, we had to kind of pivot on how our growth strategy, what that looked like. Before COVID, we were able to go out and see our customers and go visit, right, a lot. Well, we couldn't do that during COVID, right? So, we acquired a company in 2020, and then we've actually gone through and we've done an acquisition every year since. And so with that, what that's brought to us is excitement and energy, new capabilities, new talented people, and we're going to continue to do that as well. But the main goal for us is that we want to make sure that we're always staying focused on, making sure this is a great place to be, great place to work. I really think that's, like, to me, I'm a team person. I've always been kind of team centered, and I think that there is a real thing that happens when you have, the sum of the parts are greater, the greater than the whole. So I think that is real, is truth. We want to be better than each individual. We don't need a hero. And so we're going to continue to build on the strengths of our team and continue to innovate and get better every single day and continue to bring value to the market. That's our whole goal.
I lied. I have another question.
What's that?
Another one popped up.
I'm here, man. Let's go. Yeah.
Well, you've acquired a new company every year since 2020.
Yeah.
What do you look for in the companies that you acquire to have the confidence that they're going to be a fit for your culture, that they're going to take you to where you want Etched to go?
Well, you don't know me very well, but I think that, maybe someday you'll know me better. But I like to...
This is a pretty good intro.
All right, good. I feel like I want to be, a genuine person, right? And I think that even our customers, I can kind of tell, and they can probably tell if we're going to work together or not pretty quickly. Yeah. And so the acquisitions that we've been able to get done have all been, companies where the owner was looking for a retirement, way to retire, didn't have an exit strategy, but could kind of believe in our vision for what that might look like for their company. I mean, it's their baby. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of kind of who's going to carry this legacy on for me. And when we've been able to go in, and so there's just a lot of conversation like that, like we're having now. It's not a checklist, and I don't have a suit and tie on. I mean, we're just in there talking to fellow business owners about what their vision is for the next phase for them, and what we're trying to get accomplished. And if those things can line up, then we're usually able to find a way to make that work. And that's really what it's boiled down to for us. Yeah.
Sounds like you could start a podcast that comes out once a year of your conversation with a business owner before you're buying the company.
It's been so fun. Yeah, I mean, it's so rewarding, and like each one of the people that we've been able to kind of help transition are all willing. They're all willing to say, hey, if I need a reference or something for some, they will do it. And I think, really, as much as anything else, it's a testament to the guys that Adam, Mark, Justin, and I, and what we're trying to do. I think just a good team and good people, and that's what we're trying to surround ourselves with as much as possible. And when we find a fellow business owner that's kind of like that, sometimes it just makes sense. We just figure out that it makes sense for us all. So.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on the show today, Josh. Thanks so much for the initial intro to your organization and for sharing a bunch of lessons with the audience today.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the show. It's going to be a great show, and hopefully you get to see what Missouri is all about here.
Oh yeah. By the time this comes out, I'll have gotten a good taste of it. But I've been wanting to come to this one for a while.
Good.
So it's good to be back in Missouri.
Sounds good. Great. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks.